Hello, everyone. Welcome to MMA Podcast 2025 series. I am Amit Thakur, Managing Partner Waymaker with WPP Media, your host for the series. So, we all know that Vietnam has been a huge market for social media, and there is a behavior that consumers have been on the social platforms a lot, right? Commenting, chatting, sharing. And to learn more about this, I'm absolutely thrilled to welcome our guest today, Cham Nguyen. Welcome, Cham, Head of Business Marketing with TikTok Vietnam.
Thank you so much, Amit. It's a lovely introduce. And I'm very happy to be here today to join the podcast. I think this is very special in the occasions, Christmas, right? Yeah, and I hope today we can give a lot of point of view as a friend, just discussing about what is going
Absolutely.
on. Yes, that is going on.
Great. And, so because you touched upon this point, Cham, that we discuss a lot of things, I actually feel that TikTok has in many ways made a common person an influencer, right? Are you an influencer already on your platform?
Oh my God, I wish to. I wish to be the influencer. That's why the funny thing, when I decided to join TikTok, because I create a lot of TikTok video and it's flops. Yes, and I say why I don't join this company to see how it's flop. But to be honest, until now, after 4 years, I still don't get how to make my video viral. So if one day it's viral, I will invite you to my channel.
You have to come to the right media person for that.
Yes, I think so.
Great. So on that note, let's deep dive into today's topic and trying to understand how social media and social consumption in Vietnam has been growing, evolving, and what it holds as we step into 2026, right?
Yeah.
But before we go there, let's try and understand some of the key things that happen in 2025, right? What are those consumer trends or behavior that you have seen that impacted or that mattered to you from a social platform perspective?
So it's a great question. So give me a few minutes to reversely about 2025. I think for the behavior of the consumer shifting, we can summarize in 3 points.
Okay.
I think first and very important is for now, consumer is less pay attention in all of the ads.
That is
They
something
see
that we
video.
also see a lot, right?
Yes, they see a lot. So that's why they very picky in what they want to see. They can rolling very fast and can choose and filter impressively about all the video they can see per day. So that's why it's very hard for the advertiser and also brand to make the video to catch their attention.
Okay.
So just the funny quote is for me, from the user, the new attentions is a currency. And they don't give for free anymore.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And we'll talk about that a bit.
Yeah. And I think the second point, it will be the user, they want to connect emotionally with brand more. If you see now in all the platform, for all the videos and also the content, if you do it's too much perfect for the content video, the consumer, they don't like it anymore. They like something relevant.
Okay.
Yes, and something very emotional touch.
Okay.
Because they feel they belong to this brand or they belong to this situation.
Or they're able to connect to this influencer, okay? Right?
Yes, it's true. Because of now, if you do some very perfect video to talk about the perfect product, the perfect is not work in this world.
Great point.
It's relevant.
Great point.
And I think the last one will be the short behavior.
Okay.
And I need to highlight it. 2 years ago, for me, the searching of the behavior of the consumer is very different. You searching something, it's because of you want to know it. Yes. Let's say if we want to go to the restaurant in District 1, we already know the name. We just come and search for the address, right?
Got it.
But now, the consumer behavior, they search because they want to explore. Yes, and explore here means I want to know more. I want to know more detail about what I will do.
Okay.
Yes, so back to the restaurant. Now, even I didn't search by restaurant. I'm just typing what I eat for dinner today or in District 2, let's say. They will, and from the searching, they give you so many recommendations and you even know the best dish of the restaurant. It's not only just the picture or the address. You know
Nice,
more
nice.
information. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I think this is the 3 points. I
Okay.
think it's from the behavior of consumers shifting in 2025.
Great.
But from your point of view, what do you think? Yes, from the brand, because I know from you run a lot of campaign for the brand team. Do you think like this is reflect for their like the brand team is aware about that and it's reflect in their campaign, something like that?
I think it does. It does definitely, Cham. And points that you mentioned are absolutely relevant, right? Attention deficiency, and that is the currency that everybody is looking for. We have moved from a platform-based planning or a screen-based planning to attention-based planning, because that's where the real impact comes when consumers watch and comprehend the message, right? And therefore, there is a trend that is being seen that, especially on the social media platform, right, that there's an increased number of contents per brand. Right? And I'm sure you are experiencing that on your platform, right? So multiple KOLs and or influencers were creating a lot of content. But it then connects back to your second point, right? That just creating a lot of content may not lead to the desired result, right? And therefore, what's the key is that how engaging is that content, right? And that's where sometimes we step in to understand what kind of formats, storytelling, long form versus short form, what works better. And it varies, right? From brand to brand or in different industries. Yeah. And the other interesting point that we observed as the media expert is also the fact that the different tone of the content or the way message is being delivered, right? And which connects to a point that if the right emotion is ticked, right? And consumers often watch different types of content for different objectives. Yeah. Sometimes it's entertainment, right? Sometimes it's, like you rightly said, if they're searching, looking for, that's a bit of an education, but maybe not so serious. As well as sometimes for serious information, right? On a beauty product, on a tech product, or an automobile product, right? So a brand has to identify correctly where is it that the brand is playing a role at that stage, and design a content which is in sync with that, so that when you reach out to a consumer, they sort of understand the message in the right tone and manner, right? And that's the emotional connect that you talked about. So I think that's how we are looking at it from a media lens. So great. I think the builds are nice in terms of attention, connecting emotionally. And you also mentioned about search, right? That's something new. People going beyond just knowing about it, but to explore a little more before they actually go for an experience that they plan to. Let's move forward to understand, while all of these are happening, there's a huge talk that we have all been hearing about AI. Right? So how does AI actually play a role in your life and for your company? How have you leveraged it such that it gives you an edge?
AI, I think, is a term all the market to talk about. Yes, and I think it's not start from 2025. It's already start at least in 2021. Everybody already have the information. But in 2025, it's more reflections about how powerful AI in the market. Because of now you don't hear information. You see how the AI can support for the campaign. So for my platform, we have, of course, we upgrade a lot for the technology and also the AI tool to support for advertiser. When you come to the platform, it's easier, it's faster from the ideations, productions, and finally it's optimizations. Yes, so all the tool, I think it will be focused on the 3 pillars like that. But also because we talk about AI, I think it's a game changer of the market in 2025. But beside the game changer, everything is have 2 phases. For me, AI also the chaos maker. Yeah, it's chaos maker because when you use it too much and you don't control, it will be lost the trust from the consumer because of they see too much image to make from AI, and they will maybe it can create confuse about what is the real and what is the fake one.
That's so right.
Yeah, so I think from the point of view of the platform, we always try to put the safety first for all the. If you see all the video AI, it will have the note very clear in the video is generated by AI.
Correct.
to make the consumer and also the user in our platform to know this is from AI. And we just have you to know more how to use the product or how to get more about the content. But it's not like, it's not make them confused anymore.
Great. And I mean, very similar to the way you're approaching, and AI has seen a lot of use cases recently, right? The largest, I think, impact, or the first impact, I would say, in last few years or recently has been more on creative part and the content part, right? Everybody started to use AI more to sort of develop content. And I really like the point that you said about not being very perfect, right? And AI sometimes tends to be that, right? It creates a video or a content that may look perfect and hence not connect a chord with the consumer. Right? That's where brand needs to be balancing the act of these two. And if you were to extend that AI conversation, and if I can pick a few things, the way we have been using at WPP Media, is that the other use cases of AI beyond content, right? How a tech or powered by AI can be created, where WPP is looking to has created this open media assistant, where there's a suite of different tools that reside within that, which then leveraged by our planning teams can give a better, a more precise, more customized media plan for our brands.
Okay.
Right? And that's where leveraging the power of AI lies. Right. So I believe that yes, AI started to play a role, and you're right that today's action talking has been in the past, and I think different brands, organizations are leveraging that AI in a different way in order to eventually impact either their own business or the business of their clients, right? And I think both of us have experienced that in our worlds.
But from your point of view now, the brand team, advertiser, they start to open their minds, open their heart for the AI or not? Or they still have a lot of cautious or a lot of thinking about, let's say it's two-faced. So do you think from 2025, the brand team and also the advertiser, they start to adapt a lot of AI in their campaign or
I would say, so I would, let's say, broaden the conversation a bit. And if you ask that whether clients or brands have started to leverage AI a lot, the answer is yes. And it's now more part of our conversations with our brand stakeholders or clients, and also internally, right? Now, the difference is that each of these organizations are seeing AI in a different way. So some of them started to use AI more from a sales forecasting tool, right? And bring the accuracy there so that it helps them plan their business accordingly.
Okay.
But a lot of them, when we engage with them, there is a discussion on AI. And those discussions are how can you get better insight from a consumer trend perspective, right? That can strengthen the insights and therefore the strategy that we build. And that's where, again, the same example that I mentioned before of WPP Open Media Assistant, that sort of encompasses a various suite of tools which are accessible to the teams, and you could combine and get the right insights, create audience personas, understand category trends or industry trends, and all of these powered by AI. So, you don't have to physically reflect or spend a lot of time in looking for these, but you spend more time in creating the right insight that will matter, right?
Yeah.
So absolutely clients are asking for it. However, we have to be cautious of what therefore AI can help. And again, the point that you mentioned about brand safety and in the content world, right? I think it's true for everybody. So while we embark this journey of AI, how do we keep a balance of not overdoing it, but using it appropriately to give what matters to our brand?
Yeah,
right?
So it will be combinations between data-driven creativity, and we use AI as a tool, empower that.
Bang on. Great. So with that learning, Cham, what are the biggest challenge that you see?
I think the biggest challenge will be the fragmented attentions. Now the user, they have 10 apps, even more than 10 apps, but they to use in their phone. So they very easy to rolling and skip your advertising video if it's not interesting or relate to them. And the brand team needs to create so many content and needs to focus where is their target audience. They want to win the heart. And the next will be wiring a new customer. 68% of the marketer from APAC sharing, they very hard to touch the new target audience. Yeah,
I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow the market is here.
Correct.
The target audience is out there, but they very hard to touch and unlock them to roll the revenue.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And so because you touched upon this point of revenue, there's an increasing trend that we also observe at our end when we talk to our clients, especially who are active on social media, but they actually a lot of those conversations are leading to saying, what's the result? What's the impact on the business or the revenue, right? And therefore, the whole conversation on ROAS that we gear up with our clients and brands. Do you see that also building up when you design your campaigns and plans?
Actually, yes, because of our platform, I think the best format to solve the ROAS and ROI now is still the full funnel solutions. And from when you come to the full funnel solution, it will from reach, considerations, and the final is conversions.
Correct.
Yes, and from the reach, I think it's the first layer because I already talked about the user now. They don't have enough patience for all of the acts, right? So from the rich one, if advertiser, they win this part first, they will have a intention in the beginning. Yeah, they will earn a lot of intention of the user. So from the rich, you can have a mass reach, remember rich, something like that in our platform.
So when you're mentioning about these topics of attention, challenge, or acquiring new consumers, in fact, there's an increasing conversation that we are having with our clients when we operate in this spectrum of social. Right? There's the conversation is about getting the impact on business, getting revenue, and therefore the ROAS conversation, right? So, and it's fair, because that's where the real impact for the business lies. So while we get the campaign activated on social platforms, and the fact that brands are really interested to go beyond, just awareness or driving engagement, but also to see how eventually social platforms can drive revenue for them, right? And that has led in past for media agencies, and what we do at WPP is also to design a full funnel approach, right? And this full funnel approach is actually following the consumer journey in a way across different platforms, across different digital spectrum, as well as both traditional and digital spectrum, and moving away, as we started our conversation today, moving away from just being a platform centric to actually make sure that brand is following the consumer and make the brand visible, make the brand engage with the consumer, right? And that's the challenge, something that we have to manage as the media expert for our brand.
I think this is a point. It is a point, and let me tell you about how my platform approached and in parallel with your media plans from the full funnel approach, because of now full funnel approach is still the best, I think, content format from our platform. I think because we would come from rich considerations and conversions, right? For the rich asset sharing before, now the user and the audience, they less patience for so they're rolling very fast and they don't have enough patience to see some video not related to them. But from the rich one, you can reach a huge audience from just the first layer. Yes, so it can unlock first for the campaign to make the awareness and consideration. Consideration, I think, is a sweet spot because of here is the place the content of your brand get consumed. Because of it can be a lot of formats. It can be creator video to guide how to use. It can be brand video to very deep dive about the technology of the product or the key message can reflect in the consideration.
Which connects back to the point that we were just discussing about brand defining the objective of the content, right? Whether it's education, information, entertainment.
So everything will be in the state of considerations. And after that, it will be conversion. And I think it's the time for the brand to close club. Yes, and here, everybody already see from the rich, everybody already know about consideration stage. Now, they come to the final stage to decide to purchase.
Correct.
So this is the full way and the one way. No, it's not the one way. It's the full way for the campaign branch to approach and the user journey in our platform.
With that learning about how attention is an important element and that becomes a new currency to, getting new customers for the platform, for the business, and eventually all of this, how is it impacting the business, right? For our brand, for our clients. So with that at the background, and therefore the whole full funnel approach, which helps to drive consumer through the journey of awareness, consideration, and eventually taking an action or making a purchase for the brand onto the platform, and you seamlessly connect that on TikTok to TikTok Shop. Right?
Yeah.
So with that at the background, let's leap forward into 2026, right? And Cham, I want to understand from you, what do you see as the key trends that will matter in 2026, and how your platform wants to leverage those and imbibe those for future?
So in 2026, we have what next in culture and what next in shopping.
Interesting.
So what next in culture will be the brand gem. Gem here is the chemistry.
Okay.
The consumer behavior, they will connecting with the brand who active listen, growing with them, and more related from them.
Okay.
In the one next in shopping, it will be the blended reality. So in the blended reality, you will don't stick with the product you want to talk about, with the message you want to talk about. You really blend into the community. Yes, and we have three types of the blending.
Okay.
I think the first, it will be the blending of emotional. So now the user, they want to connecting by emotional. They come to you because they want to spark the joy first.
Correct.
First, they want to feel fun, because of now in the world too much crazy and too much, I don't have time to see a lot of things. So of course I will see something make me feel fun. So this is the first blending in emotion. And the second, it will be the blending in community. And sometimes in the modern world you will feel lonely, but you need to have somewhere you belong, and the community is there for you to belong. And from the content, the community can create also for the user the FOMO feeling they need to do. Example from the creator, we have a example of the F&B vertical.
Okay.
Do you already see people eat the ramen with the ice cream? Yeah, it's be a trend in TikTok.
Wow.
Yes.
I hope it's only a trend, right? People are not really consuming.
Yes. It is already long trends ago about everybody eat the ice cream with the ramen, and when the community of the F&B, they see it and they curiously to want to know what is the taste, what is the feeling, and okay, I try it. Yes, I try it not because of I really want it, but curiosity.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And I think the last one will be the blending for the relationship. Yes, it will be two-way relationship, the consumer with the brand, right? And from the branding relationship, it will be asking the brand will be more transparent, more take the feedback from the user on time. So I mean, give you another example. We have one creator, they just post the video to feedback about the foundations of one brand is not matched with the Asian skin tone because it's too white, Yes. And actually, the brand is listen. They follow all the video and they listen on that.
Interesting.
And after 1 week, they send for the creator exactly the foundations makeup, the same tone with him. And it's made very viral about that. It's like to show the brand is listen and they change the product, change the message to adapt with the user.
So, in fact, I really liked some of the examples, Cham, that you shared, right? The way this particular brand actually sort of reacted to how the influencer was looking after the makeup and to the color tone, skin tone, right? To me, that's one of the key things for brand to be more agile in future, right? Because social media and this whole ecosystem of influencer KOL requires brands to be more agile, to be more adapting of what's happening and making sure that you continue creating voice for the brand which is in line with the trend, right? So we have a lot of planned content, but as long as we are able to build or react to a particular situation or context and actually leverage that for a brand story, right? And which also goes to the other example that you get about the ice cream and ramen, So it's not always, therefore, that a brand is trying to innovate or create trends. Sometimes you latch on to the existing trend created in the social arena, and brand actually builds onto that, right? And drives engagement, or actually, in this case, sort of maybe created a new variant to have a ramen with ice cream. So that's how we see, that's how I see brands need to be more agile. Brand needs to understand and follow the trend and be choiceful of how they want to build the engagement with the consumers, right?
Yes.
I think these things remain. We talked about the full funnel approach that continues to sort of be the overall strategic way to go forward, to go beyond awareness, which of course brands do, and social platforms naturally lend to it, and also build engagement through influencers to connect. But the whole aspect that influencers are no more just to create a brand preference, but actually can drive conversion and sales at the last
it's true.
Right?
Yes.
So what are those elements that you think from a lower funnel lens, just spending the last few minutes to understand a little more on that, that influencers are creating an impact from lens of how it works for different industry?
Yes. I think it's a rate because of everything is connect. It's not a short video, long video anymore. It's also the live stream in 2026 I think it can be still and can be a big boom.
Okay.
Yes, because of now for the live stream digital shop, if you see a lot of formats, a lot of concept, and also we have a lot of tool and product in the platform to support automations for the conversions and automations when you optimizations. Yeah, it saves a lot of time for the advertiser and also the campaign to run in the digital shop. And for the shopping, I think it's still now it's more building. You not only sell any product in the live stream, you also build a connection in the live stream.
True.
And you can see a lot of different vertical in the live stream now. Before you can see live stream only for fashions, for food, for F&B, but now the real estate. They have a live stream and they have a lot of case study to have very different vertical can do the live stream.
Correct.
Yes, because up here, you can get the feedback on time from the user because they can comment directly like what they want to say in the live stream, and you can address them to make the advertiser is closer to the audience. And also from the live stream, you don't sell what the user want to buy, you sell what they want to feel. Yes, so
Very
I
nice,
think I like
very
it.
nice. I think I love the last line that you said, right? You're not selling what only you want to sell or what you want to buy, but you sell a bit of aspiration, you sell a bit of emotion and feeling.
Yes.
Right? Great. I think it was absolute pleasure, Chang, talking to you. Some of the things that our audience can definitely pick up from the conversation today in terms of how attention deficiency, that was one of the challenges, and getting new consumers, driving ROAS and full funnel approach that happened in 2025. And therefore 2026, with the advent of AI, how are you going to use AI and tech, which will further the creation of content? But what remains constant is the human touch, right? You're eventually going to create a connection with the humans, and therefore, how we actually bring all of this under the umbrella of a full funnel approach from a media lens. For example, the open media assistant from WPP that we have, which helps us take the brand plan from a discovery phase all the way to an action phase, right? And the help of a platform that seamlessly connects a consumer from an awareness phase all the way to consideration, and actually create an impact through conversion on TikTok to TikTok Shop. Right? Great. Anything last words that you want to leave our audience?
Yeah, thank you so much because of this is a great host ever because of he give very comfortable and we have a great discussions through the day. From the platform point of view, I think the behavior of consumers still changing. Yeah, they still change, but we always be stable and flexible to catch the trend, to follow with the content and behavior shift. And also, we talk a lot about AI. And I think AI is not bad, not good. It's powerful. So how we use the power to elevate the campaign of the brand and also to make the good case study in the market in 2026, right? Yeah. And from the platform side, I think we still continue to bring joy to creations, the content, and we will bring very good for the community and grow in the community.
Sure.
So this is our target of 2026, and we will stay there with the other trusted partner and stakeholder to make the rate 2026.
Great. Thank you so much, Cham. It was absolutely wonderful talking to you. Thanks for your time today. And thank you, audience, for tuning in, listening to us. Keeping tuned for the next series of MMA 2025 podcast. See you soon on the other side.
Hello everybody, I'm Trâm Nguyễn, the head of business marketing TikTok Vietnam. Very happy to be there to talk about 2025 behavior shift and the prediction of 2026 with a lot of interesting trends will happen. So see you there.